Alrighty, so what you are going to need is you're going to need your outline paper, and it looks like this. Everybody has that out on their desk, correct?
Yeah.
Perfect. You will also need to have your poem handy, okay? It's not a poem, it's a story. Whoops. But you will need to have this handy next to you because we're going to be using it, okay?
Okay.
Now, like I said, this is brand new to first grade. Yesterday we talked about our story, The Fox and the Grapes. We talked about the characters, we talked about the setting. But what we're going to be doing is we are going to be writing an outline, okay? What an outline basically is, it's just not as long. And what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to use your outline to retell this story, okay? So stories can be told, the same story can be told a variety of different ways. How many of you have heard like 3 different versions of the 3 Little Pigs? Right? Probably a lot, right? There's a lot of ways to tell the 3 Little Pigs, and it's okay if you don't get every single detail correct, as long as you kind of get the main points of the story. So that's what we're going to be doing, okay? You're going to be able to use your outline and tell the story of the Fox and the Grapes to a friend or to your mom, okay? So the way that this is going to work is we are going to go sentence by sentence, okay? So starting with the first sentence, we are going to pick out what I'm going to call important words, okay? These are words that are going to help you remember what the sentence said, okay? So if I was trying to pick out important words of my dog Murphy is fluffy, would I be using, is my an important word? Not really, right? Dog, Murphy, and Fluffy. If you got those 3 words, right? Dog, Murphy, Fluffy, you'd probably be able to write a good sentence, or at least tell me what I was talking about, right? Dog, Murphy, Fluffy. Miss Caldwell's dog, Murphy, is fluffy. Cool. Okay? Now, there are some rules to writing an outline. We can only have 3 words on each line, okay? That's one of our main rules, okay? So when I'm using this here, I can't have more than 3 words on my outline. Now, if we want to use a symbol, let's maybe imagine that we wanted to use, say the sentence said, Miss Caldwell loves her sister Mandy, okay? There's a lot of important words in there, right? Loves, Miss Caldwell, sister, and then my sister's name, Mandy. Well, that's 4. But I could use a heart to be what word would the heart symbolize? Easton? Loves, right? So symbols don't count, okay? So a lot of times if it says like, you're not allowed to jump on the bed, we could use this symbol. You ever seen somebody use that symbol for like, no, like you're not allowed or you can't, right? Okay.
I've seen it on Ghostbusters.
Yeah, so maybe on, he said I've seen it on Ghostbusters. So like no that's like a cross. So rather than like writing can't jump because that's 2 words, we could just do that symbol and then put jump. Okay? It's a little tricky, and you know what? It's going to take some time to get the hang of it. This week you might be like, this is really confusing. Okay? But we're going to do it over and over and over in first grade until the end of the year. We're going to get more different stories, and we're going to be doing this with lots of different stories, and by the end of the year, you guys are going to become professionals. Would you agree, Mrs. Burcham, that they get pretty good at this?
I sure do, and you do this week 1 in 2nd grade.
Yeah.
You're going to continue this.
2nd grade, they start this the first week of school, so we're just trying to get you ready for that, okay? So it's brand new, and it's okay if it's confusing, okay? Yes, Abby.
I've actually seen the nose symbol on Legion Green.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Okay, so we're going to start with the first sentence. Actually, what I like to do is I like to go through and number my sentences. So using your paper, so get out, you're going to need this Fox and the Grapes page. We're going to go through and we're going to number our sentences. You could also circle the periods, okay? So I'm going to actually circle the first period. Okay, that's my first sentence. Okay, you can do this with me. I see another period, so that means I have 2 sentences. I'm going to put my 2 next to that uppercase T. Little teeny tiny. Okay, I see another period there. And I'm going to put my 3, that means I have 3 sentences. 3 periods means I have 3 sentences. And then my last period is my 4th and final sentence. Okay? So I've counted that I have 4 sentences. All right, so that means I'm going to have 4 lines that have 3 words each. So we're going to start with the first sentence. Today, we are actually only going to do 2 sentences. And then tomorrow, we're going to do 2 more. How easy does that sound, right? 2 sentences? Come on, it's Pablo, really? Right? We're better than that. Well, we're just practicing. Yes?
Do we have to circle the periods?
Yeah, so this is going to help you because at some point at the very end of first grade, you guys are going to have an opportunity to write your own outline. So that's just a helpful strategy, okay? So let's look at the first sentence. Who wants to read it for me? The very first sentence. Lucy C.
A hungry fox saw a bunch of ripe grapes.
Good. A hungry fox saw a bunch of ripe grapes. Now, there's a lot of words in there that could be important, but we need to pick the ones out that are the most important. Right away, we have a character. Our character is being introduced. He's important. Okay, Corinne, who is our character?
The fox.
Okay, fox. So I want you to circle the word fox. Okay, fox. Now, what else is important? It is important that he's hungry, but we're just trying to get the main parts of the sentence so that we can remember the sentence. So maybe what's the verb, right? We know what a verb is. Or what maybe did he see? Andrew, what's another important word you think?
The grapes.
The grapes are important because that's what he saw. Okay? And then we're going to look in between. Saw a bunch of ripe grapes. What's the most important? Did he eat the grapes? What did he do, Lydia? He saw them. Very good. So we have 3 important words there. Fox, saw, grapes. If you had all 3 of those words, could you probably give me that sentence or pretty close to it?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our outline. And on the first line, it's given by a letter I, but really that just means a number 1. Okay, that's kind of confusing. How many of you have ever heard of Roman numerals? Yeah, maybe where they're like letter I's and things. But that really just means the number 1. So that means paragraph 1. We only have 1 paragraph.
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to write fox, comma. Okay, on your outline, fox, comma, saw, comma. Yes, Cole.
Shouldn't we do the fox uppercase
So-
since it's the name?
That's a good question. So he said, should we have fox be uppercase because it's his name? So it's actually not his name. It's just telling us about an animal. So it just says a hungry fox. And if you look at your story, it's lowercase in the story. So we'll just keep it lowercase, but that's a great question. Fox saw, and then our other word we circled was grapes. Okay, that's exactly what your line should look like. Fox saw grapes. Okay. Give you a minute to write those words. Make sure you write them nice and neat.
With this,
Let's see, and don't forget those commas in between as well. Okay. Now, we're going back to our story, okay? Because we finished the first sentence, so now we need to go into the second sentence, all right? So I'm going to pull my story back up. And who wants to read the second sentence? Jack.
right?
Well, they
Are we supposed
da-
to
dangled high
high up on
This is Peach. Please come to the school office. Miss Peach, please come to the school office.
Good, Jack. They dangled high up on a vine. Okay? So let's go through. Is they probably important? No. We can come up with that word on our own. What about that word dangle?
Yes.
Absolutely. Dangled. Oops, nope, we're going to stay here. Now, it says high up. Is there a symbol we could use for that? High up. Gianna, what do you think?
Like straight line and then an arrow.
Yeah, if we could use an arrow. Okay, so that's because that doesn't count. We can still have 3 words. So they dangled up, and then what's the other word? Where were they? Where were they, Paige? On that vine, okay? So for this one, we actually only have 2 words. Do you think that that's okay? Yes, as long as you don't have more than 3, okay? So we have dangled up vine, okay? So we're going to go to our outline. We're going to this number 1, and we're going to put dangled straight from our story, comma. Now, if you wanted to write the word up, if you wanted to write the word high, H-I-G-H, you could, because we only have 2 words. Okay? So for this one, I'm going to actually write high. They dangled high on, and then we have vine. Bryce, do you need to go up to the floor up there and sit so you can see? Perfect. That way it's kind of hard to see from that spot sometimes. Okay. Okay. So dangled high on a vine. Now, if this was a sentence with a lot of words in it, and there was something about being high or high up, we would probably want to use an arrow so that we could get some other words in there. Okay? Yes, Lucy.
I can't really see that.
If you've got it on your paper, look on your paper. It's right there on your paper. Dangled, you should have circled it.
I move up to there.
No, you're fine right there.
I did.
Okay? Now, if I were to not even have this paper in front of me, say I don't even have this paper with me, and I'm like, oh, I want to tell that story. I could use this right here. I have fox saw grapes. There once was a fox who saw some grapes. Is it okay if I didn't say a bunch of grapes? Yes, it's okay. It's the same story. They were dangling high up on a vine. Okay? I didn't use this at all, did I?
Nope.
Perfect. So, tomorrow, we are going to be writing for the next 2 sentences. Okay? So today, we just wrote the first 2. Tomorrow, we're going to write the next 2. And then, you guys are going to be able to go around and share with your friends your version of the story using your outline. Sound good? Perfect. Alrighty. So, we will be working on this tomorrow.
And then we can put it back in.